John from AK Dragonfish 3D, and today I'm doing a simple lure review. I've been creating lures all winter, and with spring breakup right around the corner, I figured I'd review some past and present lures just to get a grip on how things are going. So with that said, let's go ahead and do the review. So first thing I want to talk about is a lure is near and dear to my heart. I call it the Inline Squid lure. And this came to me almost in a boredom streak. And what it is, essentially built like a spinner. I happen to have a spinner I built here using some extra parts and beads and whatnot. It's built like a spinner, right? Except it's a squid. It's almost built like a hoochie rig or a wicked lure rig or however you want to word it. I don't have any relatively handy here, but they come in a variety. I've made them in a variety of different shapes and colors because last year I bought a rather large kit of, I believe they're 4-inch squids. Yeah, 4-inch squids off of Amazon, and I never really got around to using them. Right? So just a variety of different colors, variety of different blades. You know, I got to thinking about the water type around here. The water type around here is really clear. Right? Interior Alaska in general, I've found very rare instances where there's murky water. There's one lake in town, there's one river up north, and I found one pond out east, I suppose. Yeah, east between Delta and Toke. But most of it, it's clear. Clear as the sky. Right? And so, a clear cloudy day, I was doing something along this line here, and this is another project I did where I redid a bunch of blades with some sticky tape, but I'll get to that. Right? And so it's just a squid built like an inline spinner. This is a little larger, a little longer, and a little heavier. I'd say probably a quarter, maybe 3/16. I don't have like a weight scale, so I haven't really put any of these on a scale. But yeah, these are my inline squid lures. So I'll try to put one of these corners here. I'll try to put the link to the video on how I made these bad mamma jammas. But they're pretty straightforward. If you've got any experience building any spinner, spinnerbait, whatnot, it's with spinners. A while back, I printed these nifty little spinning glow clones. I found a design on Thingiverse, printed these nifty spinning glow clones, and went one step further, and I don't have one readily available to me, that I redesigned myself, because I'm still working on the redesign. Larger fins, wider body, changing the shape of the cone. But I decided I'll start putting those to use and making the spinners. Alright? And then I've got a spinnerbait right here, a larger spinnerbait with it on there as well. And I'll get to spinnerbaits here in a second. And then just other variations, taking other ideas like the wedding ring concept, except applying it to an inline spinner with a big Colorado blade, so it'll go through the water, and it's got the shiny spacers between beads with a nice colorful hook. And then just a basic weighted spinner. Nothing fancy, nothing to it. Just a spinner. And like I just got done showing you here, I had an extra body. Notice I was lacking green or chartreuse in color, so went ahead and made a nice bright chartreuse looking one here. And then a while back we also did some fly tying, and while we were fly tying, I went ahead and tied me tied me a nice fuzzy hook, just using a red feather, one of my kids' red crafting feathers and red thread, and put it on a spinner, for red and white. And I noticed one of the hatches last year from stocking was doing nothing but striking red, so I kind of adjusted my colors from last year. And then to segue into the next segment, another spinner, but most recently I've gotten into using paracord. Last couple weeks or so, I've been interested in making paracord lures. So this is what I like to call the Snell knot variation. Now, some people have other names for this style of paracord lure, but it's a Snell knot on a jig with paracord. And when you're done, just kind of trim the tail, trim the end, burn it off, you're good to go. I got a whole video talking about this one here. And then continuing on, I've got a variety of different ones. This is a paracord inside with 30-pound braid, bright yellow, so white and yellow on a yellow head with a red hook. Using both the inside and the outside. No, they're stuck together. Ah, no, let go! No, they're all stuck together, but either guys, see if I can get them unstuck. There we go. There we go. Using both the inside and the outside, I got this kind of bucktail jig here. This is inside and inside. So yet again, another bucktail jig. This is outside, inside. Outside being the orange and the inside, you know, bright orange. Bright orange, and then a smaller version of the white on white. And again, it's just paracord. If you've done any kind of fly tying, it's pretty much, make a bucktail jig, it's pretty much the same technique. In my opinion, if you're at least adept in hand dexterity, you don't need a fly clip for that, right? Okay, so we'll move on to some more illustrious. For the next segment, we'll talk about some spinnerbaits, and we'll kind of segue into some 3D printing. But first, coffee. Remember, fishing is life. For everything else, there's coffee. So, as I was saying, we'll segue, even though my couple 3D printed objects want to keep running away from me here on the table, we'll talk about spinnerbaits. Right? So we started printing our own spinnerbaits. You saw this one earlier, right? With the spinner and the blades, and the squid on the end. Then a smaller version of it with the squid and the squid. This squid slides for the sake of argument. And then for reference, here is a $2 one I bought down at one of the more local shops. So there's the blade, the hook. So that's for reference purposes. And then I tried my hand at using bucktail jigs on a spinner, and that's where this beautiful thing comes into play here. Alright, and I liked it so much that I took it into one step further, and this is one of my most recent videos of paracord spinner jig with double brass blades. So another thing, so this is kind of inspired by another thing that I did. Now, these line holders are 3D printed line holders. So this is like a squid rig or hoochie rig. These are just rigs, right? And it's a squid, or it's a double snell or a single snell with the squid on the end, or just a couple beads and spinners, and then about 3 feet of leader down to a swivel, right? And so me and the kids made quite a few of these, and all these snell holders are, all these hook holders are 3D printed on my 3D printers, which are over there, right there, 2 beautiful Ender 3s. And then we also did a wedding ring. This is covered in one of my more earlier videos with me and the kids, where we did wedding rings together.